Classics edition. Of course, now we have the WWF title on the line. The World Wrestling whatever title, WW whatever title, is the champion. Hulk Hogan defends against Zeus, the mighty Zeus, in a epic steel cage match for the world title again. So the rules of a steel cage match, quite simple. Pinfall, submission, or skip the cage. We never really got this match one-on-one. We got a couple tag team matches out of this whole feud. Of course, this started when Hogan did his movie, No Holds Barred, which featured Zeus as the protagonist. Well, not the villain from the film, who made sure that the character Hogan portrayed, Rip, had a life of misery, which featured in the main event. It was him and Hogan in the main event, and then Zeus tried his hand in the actual wrestling world, but it was short-lived after a run with Hogan and Beefcake and his teaming with Macho Man Randy Savage, and sure enough, Tiny Lister, also known as Zeus, went on to do other things and became became pretty good in the movie world. He's done some pretty big roles. He's been acted in such films as Friday, Posse. Most recently, you might remember him from The Dark Knight, as he was the convict on the boat that actually saved the innocent people's lives, really, taking the bull by the horn and kind of doing the unlikely thing. As Tiny Lista is brutalizing the immortal Hulk Hogan right now. Nice chop right there. Down goes Hogan. And Hogan fires back with a nice shoulder block, and now Hogan trying to get out of the ring. Climb the cage as Zeus is down. But here he comes. Hogan's not going to have it that easy, I don't think, this early, as Zeus stops him from climbing out. And down comes the champion, who decides not to maybe try his hand. Zeus comes him off the rope. Nice high body drop right there. Kick to the spine of the Immortal One. And a pin. Gets a 2 count out of it. Hogan kicks out at 2. Zeus elbow right to the top of the head. Oh, and a kick to the right, a high knee right to the chest area of Hogan. Now trying to rip the head right off. And now Zeus is the one who wants to try to maybe climb out of this cage. Imagine what's this all about now. Look at this, Chris Jericho. Out of nowhere. What is he doing here? He's a member of the AEW roster now. And he definitely wasn't around during Hogan and Zeus, that's for sure. As Jericho is stopping Zeus from getting out. How about that? Chris Jericho aiding in Hulk Hogan, and Zeus gets thrown off the top of the cage. With help, give the assist to Chris Jericho, folks. Chris Jericho just faulted Zeus's plan on getting out of here. Is the pin. Zeus kicks out at 2. Still has something left in him after getting thrown off the top of the cage. And then getting a little bit of beat down by Hogan. Uh-oh. And Hogan and Zeus having some problems right now. Hold on, folks. We're going to take a quick commercial break. If you don't mind, we're going to take a commercial break and check on some things right now. As Hogan takes down Zeus with a nice back breaker. And now Hogan trying to climb out of the cage. And Zeus is up. Never mind, folks. I guess we're going to stay right with it. And Zeus takes down the mighty Hulk Hogan with a nice electric chair type maneuver. And Hogan with a nice back body drop on Zeus. Now try to rip that arm right off. Stomp to the face of Zeus. That will not help the lazy eye that Tiny Lister has, that's for sure. Hogan now going for a pin. Not even getting a 1 count on that exchange. And now Hogan trying to slow things down. Neck cramp with a right hand and a kick to the spine. And now Hogan trying to climb and get out of dodge with his to retain his title. But what's this now? That's Samoa Joe, current day superstar. Again, was not around back during the whole Samoa Joe. I mean, Dr. Hogan and Zeus days, but Samoa Joe now. Maybe he got sick of seeing what happened with Jericho, and he decided he's going to come in and he's going to ruin Hogan's plan. We're going to see Samoa Joe later on, right after this match. We're going to see Samoa Joe in action. Maybe he wanted to get a little... Oh, no! Joe kicked all the way off the top of the cage to the bottom. And Joe looking embarrassed. He's out of here. He doesn't even want to be associated with that. He's got a he's got a match of his own coming up. He's got a submission match up ahead of time with one of his mentors, and Hogan looks like he's going to retain here, folks, and he does. As Hogan escapes the cage, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see some of this from earlier. You see Zeus had things well in order, and he was just about 3/4 of the way to getting the heck out of Dodge and winning the title. But then Jericho would show up, and when Jericho showed up, it just put a monkey wrench in his plans. But then Samoa Joe would come up and try to repay the favor, but Hogan kicked him off, and he was ultimately ended up on the receiving end rather than the helping.
Here is your winner and still WWE Champion, Hulk Hogan.
Well, there you go, folks, as Hogan is still your champion, defeating Zeus in a steel cage match. Now, I guess you guys would expect that to be the main event because it was Hogan. Well, you'd expect wrong, because it's my show, not anybody else's. All right, folks, stick around as more action coming your way.